קטע מספר 6 מתוך זוהר לעם. החוכמה שהאדם צריך לדעת אותה, לדעת ולהסתכל.
Item number 6. The wisdom that one should to know and to observe the secret of his master, to know him, to know who he is, how he was created, where he comes from and where he is going, how the body is corrected, and how he will be judged by the King of all. To know and to observe the secret of the soul. What is the soul within him? Where does it come from? And why does it come into this body, which is a foul drop that is here today and in the grave tomorrow? To know the world one is in, and for what will the world be corrected? To gaze upon the sublime secrets of the upper world, and to know one's master. And one observes all that from within, the secrets of the Torah. Item number 7, from Introduction to Shar Hakdamot. The Creator has no contentment in His world except when we engage in this wisdom. Moreover, man was not created except to study the wisdom of Kabbalah. Item 8. The study of the Zohar is a great correction to enlighten the holy soul. Item 9 from the Ramak. When engaged in this composition, the power of the souls and the power of the righteous are awakened with the power of Moses. For when they engage in it, they renew the light that was renewed at the time of its composition, and the divine shines and illuminates with that light, as in the beginning of its renewal then. And all who engage in it return and awaken that same benefit and that previous light, which Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his friends revealed at the time of its composition. Item 10 from Likutim. The language of the Zohar is a remedy for the soul, even though one does not understand anything it says. Similar to a person who enters a perfume store, even though he did not take anything, in any case, he absorbed the good smell. Item 11 from Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch. Listen to me, my brothers and friends, the friends who yearn and seek the true truth of the service of the heart, to view the pleasantness of the Creator and to visit His palace. My soul will bow down and adhere to the book of Zohar, as was known from the mouths of our predecessors, the remedy of engaging in the holy book. Item 12 from Zohar for everyone, Genesis. Happy are those who look into their desire, the meaning of the upper secrets, to walk in the path of truth, to merit this world and to illuminate the next world for them. Concerning them it is written, the righteous shall shine. Happy are they in this world and in the world to come. Those who cling to the Creator in truth, their desire guides them to advance in their work as it is established above, in the upper worlds, as it is written. And Abraham went as the Lord had commanded him. Hence, later, when they observe their desire, they know the sublime secrets, for they look into their tendencies in their own desire, and know how these sublime secrets are determined above. Item 13 from Zohar for everyone, Ba'alotcha. And the wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, are the authors of the Kabbalah. They are the ones who exert in this brightness, called the Book of Zohar, which is like Noah's Ark, gathering 2 from a town and 7 kingdoms, and sometimes 1 from a town and 2 from a family, in whom the words, "Every son that is born you shall cast into the river," come true. The Torah is called a son. The newborn is the attained. Into the river means the light of Torah. Cast is like you will study it, where you study each insight that is born in you by the light of Torah and by its soul. This is the light of this book of Zohar, and it is all because of you. Item 14. Happy and blessed are we, who were rewarded with his light, to walk and contemplate in the pleasant words of the upper illumination of the holy light. Its taste is sweet, and it is altogether delightful, unending waters and without limit of understanding, to know the acts of creation and the works of Merkavah, and how to be a chariot, to unite and restore the soul to its source, to the root where it was hewed from. And this was determined and rooted in my soul. Whoever has not seen the light of the book of Zohar has never seen light. We're going to be opening the Zohar now. Okay. We're reading from the Sefer of Tzniuta, item 16, halfway through, starting with the sentence, "First we will explain the 8 corrections of Dikna." Please close your phones.
השיעור מבוסס על סדרת ספרי זוהר לעם. ניתן להוריד את הספרים באתר קבלה לעם, kab.co.il.
We're reading from Zohar for Everyone. You can... Hello, we're reading from Zohar for Everyone, Volume 5, from the Sifra de Tzniuta, item 16. You can watch, you can ask questions on kab.tv, and selected questions will be answered during the lesson.
עמוד 192, פסקה 16, זה בטור א', בדבר המתחיל, ונבאר תחילה ח' תיקוני דיקנה.
Okay, we're starting now with this section. First we will explain the 8 corrections of Dikna. First we will explain the 8 direct corrections of Dikna that extend from Chochma Stima. These are the order of the 3 Pchinot, Naran Chai of Naran, and their inclusions. First correction. The place of the beginning of the Dikna, at the beginning of the lower cheek, after the hair of the head has ended at the sides of the head, at the end of the skull bone. This place aims opposite the holes of the ears. Second correction, to rise to Bina in Ibor, the hair at the top of the lips, from the top of the right lip to the top of the left lip. The hair extends from the bottom cheek before the opening of the ears. The hairs are zone. They climb over the upper lip, the place of the upper cheek, Galgalta, Bina. This is considered Ibor of Seirot Dikna, zone, in the upper lip, Bina. They receive Vak Dibor, Nefesh Ruach de Nefesh. Third connection. After the spirit of Chokhmah is extended from the two holes of the Chotem, the nose, the place of disclosure of Chokhmah, into the hair of the upper lip, where it makes a hair-free path in the middle of the hair of the lip, since the Chokhmah removes all the dinim. The spirit of the Chotem, Chokhmah, purifies the path from hair, removing the transgressions, since pardoning iniquities extends from the illumination of Chokhmah, and the illumination of Chokhmah is Gardi Ibor, Neshama, Chaya, Yechida de Nefesh. Fourth correction. Afterward comes the time of delivery in the Seirot de Zon that have been impregnated in Bina. The Seirot of the upper lip emerge and descend to their place in the lower cheek, under the lower lip. The Seirot that were in the upper lip have been extended and come to their place in the lower cheek, where they became Seirot of another lip, Seirot Zon themselves. By this expansion below the lower lip, they are Vak de Ruach, Nefesh Ruach de Ruach. Fifth correction. Afterward extends the spirit of Chokhmah from the two holes of the Chotem, in the path in the upper lip, and passes over the Seirot below the lower lip, making there another hair-free path, as in the upper lip. The illumination of Chokhmah in this path is Gar de Ruach, Yechida Chaya Neshama of Ruach. Sixth correction. Afterward another Ibor was made for the Neshama, and the hair in the lower cheek rose once more to the top of the upper lip, the place of the Siyum, the end, Galgalta, Bina, where she received Vak de Neshama, Nefesh Ruach de Neshama. Seventh correction. Afterward appeared the spirit of Chokhmah as Panim, face, in the two apples of the face. This is Garda Neshama, Yechida Chaya Neshama de Neshama. The two apples are seen so as to light the candles, the Sfirot, in Gar. As it is written, a man's wisdom illuminates his face. Eighth correction. Afterward, the Vak de Neshama and illuminations of Gar de Neshama are drawn down to their place in the lower cheek. The fortune of everything, the hair that hangs down into the heart, which is the inclusive of all the previous corrections, the upper ones and lower ones are dependent on it, since all the Mochin de Atzilut are drawn from it. This explains the 8 corrections of Dikna that illuminate from Chokhmah Stima. 17. Ninth correction. The short hairs that hang between the hairs in the upper area of the Dikna do not emerge from one another because they are all equal. 10th correction. The short hairs covering the throat next to the respected Dikna. 11th correction. Big hairs completely covering with hair hanging on the throat. 12th correction. The lips became hair-free on all sides. Happy is one who kisses from those kisses. 13th correction. In the fortune of everything, 13 rivers of pure persimmon are extended, Everything is in that fortune, and it is blocked. This is the lower area of the Dikna, called the bottom fortune. After it explains the 8 corrections of Dikna that extend from the illuminations of Chokhmah Stima, it explains 5 corrections of Dikna that extend from Galgalta. There is a big difference between them. Because through the Chokhmah Stima was blocked, it was blocked only from the Chokhmah in it. But Bina and Tum in it illuminate to the 8 corrections of Dikna. For this reason there is Gar in them, because that Bina returned to being Chokhmah. But Galgalta that was established in Mem Detzelem, and in which there is no Chokhmah, but covered Chasadim, pure Avir, the level of Ruach, is devoid of Gar. It follows that the 5 corrections of Dikna that extend from her are also devoid of Gar. For this reason, the 8 corrections of Dikna were hanging on the lower cheek. Although it was determined in advance, it is only with respect to the Atzamot, the bones, Chokhmah, but with respect to the Gidim, Basar and Or, implying Bina, Tiferet and Malchut, it is connected to the Rosh. But the 5 lower corrections that extend from Galgalta depend on the throat, where even with the respect to the Gidin, Basar and Or, it is distinguished as Guf, Nefesh Ruach and Lax Gar. 9th correction. When hairs grow from the skull, their first correction is the Ibur in Bina. The short hairs that hang among the long hairs in the upper area of Dikna do not come out from one another. They do not emerge and extend from the long hairs of Dikna because they are extended from Chokhmah Stima. The short hairs extend from Galgalta and are there only for the correction of the Ibor in Bina, where they receive Nefesh. 10th correction. Afterward, they descend from there to their place, the throat, and initially emerge in Nefesh Ruach, small hairs that grow and cover the throat. 11th correction. Afterward, big hairs come out in Ruach the Ruach that is in the throat, as well. 12th correction. Afterward, pure air extends from Galgalta. Although they are Chasadim, they are more important than Chokhmah because they are above the Chokhmah. Hence they move the hair from the lips in the place with which we kiss on each side. Afterward emerges the inclusion of 12 corrections of Dikna, which is Malchut, who receives from everyone. It was said, the fortune of everything extends 13 rivers from the pure Persimmon, which is the lower area of the Dikna that is attached to the throat, where all the lower ones receive all the mochin from that fortune. Everything is in that fortune which is blocked, meaning that the bottom fortune comprises 2 points, Miftecha and Manula. On the side of the Miftecha it is present, and on the side of the Manula it is blocked. It is called, and that will not clear the guilty. 18. When Tishrei arrives, the 7th Hebrew month, these 13 corrections are present in the upper world, Bina, and the 13 gates of Rachamim open there. At that time it is written, seek the Lord while he is found. 19. And God said, let the earth put forth grass, herb yielding seed, fruit, tree bearing fruit after its kind, it is that is written, and you shall torment your souls on the 9th of the month in the evening. It is written, God, Lord, you have begun to show your servant your greatness. Here the name Havaya is complete in its sides, illuminating in the right and in the left together. This is why it is written, Lord God, as well as your greatness. And here in this awakening of the earth, it is incomplete, for only the left side illuminates, without the right side. When the Nukva is from Chazer der Zampin above, clothing only the left line of Ima, she is regarded as Delet of Echad, dry, not bearing fruit. But when she has descended from Chazer der Zampin and below, she receives from Zerampin, from the middle line. At that time the which was dry, when she was from Chazer der Zampin and above, has become a land bearing fruits and offspring, since the middle line corrects her to illuminate from both sides. But as long as she receives only from Ima, from the left line, she was dry and ruined, because the Chokhmah on the left cannot illuminate without the Chasadim on the right, and then dinim and punishments are extended from her. At that time, when Nukva was from the Chazer and above, in dinim of the left, the Creator said, "Let the earth put forth grass," meaning descend to from the Chazer and below and become a fruit-bearing land. And God said, "Let the earth put forth grass." This is the issue, as it is written, "And you shall torment your souls on the 9th of the month in the evening, on Yom Kippur, Day of Atonement." The Nukva ascends to the left line of Ima and receives their Chokhmah without Chasadim. This causes torments of the soul to the Nukva, because Chokhmah without Chasadim does not illuminate and causes dinim. However, afterward, when she descends from the Chazer and below and is corrected by it, this Chokhmah that she previously received from Ima in Chasadim de Zerampin dresses and illuminates in full. Had she not received the Chokhmah from Ima, from the left line, which torments the soul, she would never have had Gar, because being below the Chazer, she is no longer fit to receive Chokhmah. It is written, "And you shall torment your souls," for by assuming this torment of the soul on ourselves, which the Nukva has due to her ascent to the left line of Ima, we have a part in Gar, which the Nukva later receives from Zerampin after her descent below the Chazer. The Chokhmah she previously received from Ima now dresses in Chasadim de Zerampin and becomes Gar, as it is written, "For any soul that shall not be afflicted in that same day shall be cut off from her people," since she has no part in Mochin de Gar, that the Nukva later extends. Thus the awakening of put forth grass and the matter of "and you shall torment your souls" are all the same matter, and both apply when the Nukva receives from the left line of Ima. Lord God, you have begun. Here the name Havaya is complete on both sides, right and left. This is the wholeness. In the awakening of the earth it is not complete, because the awakening of bare fruit was when she received only from the left side of Ima, at which time she was dry, ruined, and incomplete.
20. It is not written here, "Let there be grass and herb." In the word Yehi, "let there be," we read the upper Yod and lower Yod, as it is written, "and formed," with two letters Yod in Hebrew, where the upper Yod is upper Chokhmah, and the lower Yod is the lower Chokhmah, the Nukva. These are also the two letters Yod in the beginning and end of the combination, Yid Chochni, Havaya Adni, Yod He Yod, as an upper Yod, lower Yod, and the letter K. Between them, Bina and the lower Yod receives from her the Chokhmah. This is the whole of the completeness, for then she receives Chokhmah, which is complete, and not from each side, but only from the left. This is why the name was uprooted. The nukva is called name, and it was planted in another. She was uprooted from above, from Chazeh de Zeranpin, from the place where she receives only from the left of Ima, to below Chazeh de Zeranpin, to receive chasadim from him. As it is written, and the Lord God planted a garden in Eden, on the east, planting it in the place below Chazeh de Zeranpin. 21. Another way, the hey that is written between Yod and Yod of Yechi, let there be, implies the blowing of the wind, spirit or ruach, of Chochmah from Chotem Darechanpin to Zeranpin. And although Zeranpin is always in Chasadim that are covered from Chochmah, he still cannot exist without the spirit of Chochmah. As long as there is no Chochmah in him, he is vak without a Rosh. The first Hey in the name Havaya and the bottom Hey in the name Havaya were completed with this Hey, which implies Chotem de Alechanpin. The first Hey, Bina, receives Chochmah in her left line from Chotem Darechanpin and gives to the bottom Hey, to the Nukva. At that time, the two letters Hey are together, as it is written, Aha, Lord God, Adni Elokim, implying that wherever the two letters Hey are together, when the bottom Hey receives Chochmah from the left line of the first Hey, it is written about her, Aha, implying a time of trouble, because at that time the Nukva is in trouble, ruined and dry. 22. There is Yod, Hey, Vav in the cluster of clusters, in the Ruach of the scales, Zeranpin, in whom the scales and who is called a cluster. As it is written, my beloved is to me a cluster of camphor. The upper Yod, Abba Ve'ima, called Abba, crowned in the connection of Atik, who is the upper crust that becomes Zach and blocks. This is the third correction of the 7 corrections of Galgalta Darechanpin. The first Hey, Yeshut, are called Ima. She is crowned with the Ruach of the 2 holes of the Hotem, who went out to revive, to impart Chochmah, called life. This is the 7th correction of the 7 corrections of Galgalta Darechanpin. The upper Vav, the middle line, and that in which there is the harsh spark, Masach de Herik, is crowned on its sides and decides between the 2 sides in Ima, and receives Gal from there, which are called Atara. Subsequently, the letters Yod Kei Vav expand and become included in Zeranpin in a way that the 3 come out of 1. One is rewarded with the 3 of them. As Yod Kei Vav are in Galgalta Darechanpin, they expand in the whole of Guf of Alechanpin in Zat, his Chagat Nehim, to complete everything, since Abba Ve'ima, Yesut, and Zon clothed them. When these letters Yod Kei Vav are hanging, meaning blocked, they are in clean wool, which is the 5th correction of the 7 corrections of Galgalta. When they appear to Zeranpin, these letters Yod Kei Vav settle in him, and he is called by them. 23. Yod, Vav, Dalet, Te, Havaya, and Atik is blocked in his crowns, meaning that Malchut does not exit his Bina, and blocks it because the left has no correction except in the scales, and the scales must be hung in Rosh Atik, which is the Malchut that blocks him. So it is in all the Roshim. Yod is always a Rosh. Hey developed in the other Hey, in Hey de Zeranpin, in whom is the place of disclosure. For this reason, the filling of Hey is also Hey, meaning Hey. she has two females because the bottom Hey, Malchut, is included in her and is in corrections. At the time of Gadlut, Malchut descends from her and she appears in Chochmah, but not in herself, but in Zeranpin. Vav. Vav developed in another Vav in Zeranpin. As it is written, like the good wine, it goes down smoothly for my beloved. The corrections of above go to my beloved, to Zeranpin, in whom there is the harsh spark, Masach Tehirit, to cover Ima's opening. For this reason, the letter of the filling of Vav is with another Vav, like this, Vav, Vav. 24. It follows that there is a Vav above in the Rosh, and there is a Vav below in Zeranpin. There is a Hey above in the Rosh, and there is a Hey below in Zeranpin. For this reason, they are doubled in the filling, because above they are concealed, and below revealed. There is a Yod above, and another Yod does not partake with her. As with the letters Hey, Hey, Vav, Vav, she is not pronounced along with her, except with a hint that is implied because the filling Vav Dalet in Yod Vav Dalet is Yod in Gematria, indicating that she also contains a second Yod below. Two appeared in the Yod, which are upper Abba Ve'ima. They connect in 1 degree in the path of Abba, where there is the concealed Dat in one excitement, to part from the left. This is the Vav Dalet that are included in Yod Vav Dalet. The Yod is upper Abba, and Vav Dalet, upper Ima, Woe, when Abba, Yod, parts and the Vav Dalet appears. 25. The perfume and the scent are illumination of Chochmah, of the red engravings of all the Prinot of the left line, which are red. They move to illuminate, do not mingle with the place, but promptly return to their place, as it is written, and the animals were running and retuning, meaning they promptly returned to their place. It is also written, now flee to your place, where he hurries to return to his place. It is also written, though you go high like a vulture, though you set your nest among the stars, wanting to extend the Chochmah and detain it, from there I will bring you down. But the extension of Chochmah must be, as it is written, and the animals were running and returning, meaning he should promptly return it to its place, from below upward, and not detain it. 26. And the earth put forth grass. This was done when the Nukva was planted. After the Nukva was built from the Chazeh and below, at that time, that which was dry became land for bearing fruits and offspring. Then a Vir, light of Chasadim, came out of Abba, and a spark came out of Ima, light of Gvurot. And when the Avir and the spark connected, one Galgalta expanded from them. Ketel de Zeranpin had its side in the 4 sides, Hub and Chug de Dat. These are regarded as upper Abba V'Ima in Rosh Zeranpin, and they are Mem de Tzelem. The Galgalta filled with dew on her in 2 colors, white and red. As it is written, your dew is as the dew of lights, light of Chesed and the light of Gvura. This is the first of the 7 corrections of Galgalta de Zeranpin. 27. Second correction. 3 spaces of the inscribed letters Yud, Kei, Vav, Chabad appeared in him. This is Lamed Detzelim in Rosh Zeranpin. Third correction. Raven black hairs hang on the deep holes of the ears, and he cannot hear right or left. It is so because the hairs, which are dinim, are blocking them, and in Gadlut the hairs depart from over the ears. As was said in the 7th correction, in the hairs on the Galgalta de Zeranpin, there is one fine path above, the path in the middle of the head, where the hairs divide to right and left. The 7 corrections of Galgalta de Zeranpin divide by 3 prinot meletz de tzelem, like the 7 corrections of Galgalta de Arechanpin, but in a different way, because the correction of the crust of the avir is missing here, and a correction in the ears is added here. In Katnut, the hairs block the ears. This is the 3rd correction, and in Gadlut, the hairs depart from the ears, which is the 7th correction, and then the prayers from the lower ones are received. In this manner, Galgalta was established in 4 mochin, Chug, the Dat, and after these 4 mochin, she is called Mem de Tzelem, because moach, brain, comprises 10 sfirot, and they are 40 prinot. It indicates that in the middle line, dat, he does not unite the right and left to clothe the chokhmah in the left with the chasadim on the right, which was done by the force of the din in the middle line. For this reason, the din became chesed, and both are 1 prina. Therefore, they are 30, 3 prinot of 10 sfirot, which are Chabad. But in Mem, the Tzelem, in upper Abba Ve'ima, they never receive Chokhmah, and there is no need for the decision of the middle line. For this reason, the Chesed and Din in the middle line are separated from each other, because the Din in the middle line does not become Chesed, hair, because it does not cause the unification of right and left. Instead, Chesed and Din in Dat are regarded as 2 separate 10 sfirot. Hence, there are 4 mochin, and they are 40. This is the 1st correction. The 2nd correction is the mochin de Sut in Zeranpin, Lamed de Tzelem in Rosh Zeranpin, in whom the Dat decides between right and left, between Chokhmah and Binah, by the force of Din in him, the Masach de Hirik. For this reason, Din turns to Chesed, and there are only 3 prinot of 10 sfirot hair, which are 30. This is the 2nd correction. The 3rd correction is raven black hair that extends from the dinim in the 3 mochin Chabad in the 2nd correction. For this reason, it blocks the ears so they do not distinguish between good and bad, and the prayers of the lower ones are not received. It is so at the time of Katnut, but in Gadlut, this hair is corrected in Mem de Tzelem de Nehi, and then departs over the ears which open up. As was said in the 7th correction, over Gadlut de Zeranpin, there is a smooth line, where the hair divides to right and left. It is called a path of division of the hair, where there is no hair or dinim at all, but rather wondrous chesed. For this reason, it is white. It is written, "The path of the righteous is as the light of dawn, that shines brighter and brighter." This is written about the path of division of the hair in Galta de Arechanpin. From the path of Arechanpin, it extends to the path of division of the hair of Zeranpin, of which it is written, "All the paths of the Lord are mercy and truth." It is so because through the hair of the right appear chasadim, to the worshippers of the Creator, and through the hair of the left appear punishments to the wicked, who do not worship the Creator. When it reaches the lower ones, they recognize the difference, which is the path of division of the hair between a servant of the Creator and one who does not serve Him. Through that recognition, they are rewarded with complete dvikut, adhesion with the Creator, and then all the paths of the Lord are mercy and truth.
28. The fourth correction is Metzach that does not illuminate, from which din and strife extend to the world, except during Gadlut, when the desire of Metzach the Arechampin oversees the Metzach the Zampin. The fifth correction is eyes in three colors, black, red and green, to fear them, since all these colors imply dinim. Red is left, green is the middle line, and black is Malchut. In Gadlut they are as written, bathing in milk, which illuminates. It is Chesed that extends from Attic, as it is written, your eyes shall see Jerusalem, a peaceful habitation, without any din. It is written, justice would lodge in her. Thus there is din in her, called justice. A peaceful habitation was said when the eye of Attic that is blocked shines, as it is written, bathing in milk. For it is written, your eye, without the yud of the plural form, as there is no left in Attic, and the two eyes are considered the right eye. 29. The sixth correction is the nose of the Parzuf, which is short for recognition. A Parzuf can be identified by the nose, as we learn. We do not testify until a Parzuf is panim with the nose. 3 flames burn in its holes. These are 3 pchinot of din, which extends from Binah, from Malchut, and from the left line. The 7th correction is a twisted degree, to hear good and bad. During Gadlut, when the hair that blocked the ears departs from them, they open up to hear good and bad, to benefit the good and to punish the bad, and to receive the prayers of the lower ones. This clarifies the 7 corrections of Galgalta de Zampin, where Galgalta and the 4 sides in her govern the Mem de Tselem, and the 3 spaces in Galgalta are Lamed de Tselem, and the hair and the 2 ears are the hidden Netzach Hod. Metzach is Yesod in them, and the 2 eyes are the revealed Netzach Hod. The nose is regarded as Yesod and Malchut in them. Here the book of the concealed interprets primarily the din in them at the time of Katnut, and the Pchinot Meletz Tetzelem were said primarily for the time of Gadlut. 30. It is written, I am the Lord, this is my name. It speaks in a revealed manner, I and a concealed manner. This in the same sentence. It should have said, I am the Lord, it is my name, and it says that I and he are 2 names, as it is written, I will put to death and I will revive. It is also written, I will carry and I will suffer. This I is the name of Malchut. Havaya is also a name, as it is written, He has made us and not we. Likewise, He is unique, and who can turn Him? Thus He is also called He, since the He is called one who is concealed and is not present. Chochma Stima de Arachampin, which was blocked and does not open before the end of correction. He is one who is not apparent to the eye, who is not available for reception of Chochmah, called I, meaning Appa, Abba, Ve'ima, who are covered Chasadim and never receive Chochmah. It is written about them, for he desires mercy. He is called one who is not called by name, Bina Yisut, in whom the left line came out. And before the middle line decided between right and left, clothing the Chokhmah in the left, in the Chasadim on the right, she is not called by a name because she is concealed and does not illuminate. 31. The meaning of the three letters of He, Chokhmah Stima and Abba Ve'ima and Yisut are each called He. The He of He comprises of Vav, and the Vav comprises Aleph of He and does not comprise the He of He. Aleph goes to Yud, Yud goes to the Yud that is more concealed than all that are concealed, in which the Vav Daled of the filling Yud Vav Daled are not connected. Woe when the Yod does not illuminate to Vav Daled. The He of He is Bina when she is in the left, prior to the unification in the middle line. Vav of He is Serampin. When Bina returns her Bina and Tum to the left line, Serampin rises with them to Bina too, where he takes the form of the Aleph of He, which is a depiction of the letters Yud Yav Daled. Vav is Serampin, the middle line. The upper Yod atop it is the upper Yod atop it is the right of Bina, included in Serampin, and the Dalet below is the left of Bina, included in Serampin. He contains Vav. During the elicitation of the left of Bina, Bina already includes within it Vav, Serampin, who rose together with Bina and Tum de Bina. Vav contains Aleph, which is the Vav in the middle of the Aleph, which consists of two lines of Bina, which are Yod Dalet. But it does not contain He, because Vav was still not decided between the right and the left of the He. Hence, it does not contain it. For this reason, Aleph goes to Yod, meaning that in the illumination of Serampin, Aleph illuminates only in its upper Yod, right, since the left in it, Dalet, still does not illuminate before the decision of the middle line. For this reason, Yisut is called He, where the lights are hidden from the lower ones. It is thus considered that Aleph goes to Yod, to upper Abba Ve'ima, and causes them that Yod too, Abba, would part from the Vav Ve'ima. At that time, their lights are also hidden, and they are called He. Yod, Abba Ve'ima, goes to the Yod that is more concealed than all that are concealed, to Chokhmah Stina de Arachampin, who is more concealed than all that are concealed, because the Vav Dalet in him, are not connected, causing him to not impart upon the Nukva. He is called Vav Dalet of the filling, Yod Vav Dalet, the Bina that returned to his head. That is why he too is called He. For this reason, Abba, who is Yud, does not illuminate to Ima, Vav Dalet of the filling of Yud. And because Ima, Vav Dalet, does not illuminate, it follows that Yesh Sut, He Davaya, do not illuminate because they receive from upper Ima, from Vav Dalet. Woe when the Yud does not illuminate to Vav Dalet, for then there is separation between the Yud and He too. 32. When Yod departed from Vav Dalet due to the iniquities of the world, the nakedness of everyone appeared, since Vav Dalet has been darkened, meaning upper Ima, from whom all the parts of Im of Atzilut and Bia receive. It is written about it, do not uncover your father's nakedness, since upper Abba Ve'ima, who are Yud Vav Dalet, are both called Abba. And when Yud departed from the He, after the Vav Dalet have darkened, the Yud cannot impart upon the He to Yesh Sut. It is written about it, and do not uncover your mother's nakedness. She is your mother, do not uncover her nakedness. Yesh Sut are both called Ima. Your Ima is as written, but if you call upon Bina, thus Yesh Sut, which are Bina, are called mother.
Would anyone like to ask questions?
Oleg from the Ukraine and Bright from England are asking, what are the tikkunim of Dikna and why is Sarot correction?
There are several actions here. First of all, Sarot is soil, stormy, that it has a deficiency. And thus, when those deficiencies rise, it's already a correction, because from above, you only have the desire to bestow. That's first of all. Second, Sarot are also covering the body, the goof. In Chasadim, and give Chokhmah bit by bit to descend. And parts that are not covered by Sarot, hairs, are Chokhmah. And parts that are covered by Sarot, that's Chasadim. Then that's, in short, don't catch me by my word, but that's the way it is. That's the way it is, you can say it in that way. What more? It's corrections, I'm not sure. The upper light, in order to descend to the lower ones, it needs to go from up above down and go through all of the Parzufim. And they're all Parzufim, they're all the 10 Sfirot, each and every one of them. It's talking about the qualities of each one, where they connect between one another and use it to bring the light in the correct way to where it's meant to go, to below. That's what the Parzuf of Hanpin consists of. It's the source of light. And afterwards, Abba Ve'ima and Yesut, they construct more correctly the light for the lower ones in Zon. But because all of the destiny of the situation of the lower ones is depending on what they get, it depends on the Rosh, the Atzilut, the Rosh, the Chanpin. And so that's where the source is, and that's why we study where is the source, and we study the system that's bringing the light, and then the ones who receive the light. The three main parts. Okay? Yes.
When we read the Zohar, and we're actually closer to the reforming light, is that correct? I heard that it's the strongest source.
Yes, but it depends on how you use it. Torah can be the psalm of life or a drug of death.
So what do we need?
To be together, first of all, to be together and connect together and be as one. In that, you are bringing your attributes closer to the light. That's first of all. Second, when you use that deficiency where all of us will be as one, that it will clothe in us and it will correct us and it gives us the quality of bestowal, and we will be able in return to be able to bestow contentment to the source, to the creator. That's it. Yes.
Can you say that what is the oldest source in Kabbalah? The language that we're using here in this book, the Tanakh is written. It's written in the Agadah. I don't understand who actually created it. Who's the first person to use this language?
In fact, Kabbalists are discovering a picture. the clothing of the lights in the vessels, how to tell about the clothing of the lights in the vessels and how they come down and how they relate their attitudes from above to below and below upwards and so on. It's like that we are learning. They are expressed in 4 languages. There's what depends on the nature of the Kabbalist. One sees the world in colors, one hears it in sounds, and the third in forces, the fourth in psychology of people. You know how we have it with us, where we see how people perceive the world in their own way. And among the Kabbalists, it's the same way. There's 4 languages, because everything always divides in 4 qualities. And that's why there are some like that and some like that. And you see, Zohar was written in the language of Midrash. The Torah was written of the language of Tanakh. And from Ari onward, and also Avraham, in his book, already used in the language of Kabbalah. So there's this and that. They're both. I can't say why exactly it's written this way or that way. I mean, I can say, but it's me. There's written in a few places by Baal Sulam why it's written this way and that way. But in general, Kabbalists see how much they can reveal in order to still hide it and to adapt the language to the language of Esther, of being hidden and being revealed. That if you know how to do the Esther, the hiding on your desires, then you'll still be able to reveal it. But still, simply I can say that the Kabbalists come from the countries of the south, of the Middle East, and they were more drawn to the language of the Agadah and to Tanakh. And the Kabbalists from the more northern regions like Europe, they're more drawn to interpret in the language of Kabbalah, in Sfirot and Parzufim and so on. You can even say that really you can see it according to the map. You can really see the Litaim, Lithuanians were the most dry. They used their use. There is something in it. Like how in our world we see the difference between the qualities of people. The northern people, the southern people. Okay? Okay, what?
Can I ask about the duty of the 10? It's not connected to the Zohar, but can I ask?
All right, ask.
On the coming Shabbat, we will be on duty with Ashkelon from China and from Los Angeles. This time, there is like a great heaviness in the preparation. For a week we've been trying to connect and move it forward, but this time we don't know why. There's this great heaviness in this whole process to prepare ourselves for this. And I just want to ask you if you have any advice, a discernment, what can we do differently, more?
The 10 on duty needs to give example in connection. He needs to give example for the connection of homogeneous, so that it's equal. It needs to try to connect, through its connection, connect to the Creator, and through that to all of the other tens. And most importantly, to work within, internally, in a way that no one has a head. It's endless, that it's all shared, it's all common between one another. That's most importantly, when you start to do it together, that each person kind of gets melted and disappears into the group, in that shape of the group, you'll start to feel what kind of strength comes down and governs you together. And that's the most important. When you're being the 10 on duty, or when you're being a representative of the public, and when you do that, you'll manage to succeed in the connection of all of you and everyone together, through you and to the Creator. It needs to be a work in an internal exertion, personal, really. That's it. As much to read as much and to less in the reading of the sources, but to make in ourselves like a school of fish, that each one annuls themselves. It's like, it's the upper force working on them, but that they become and as they move as one, in one direction. There's no first, there's no last, there's no second. It's all like birds too in the sky, that they're all then working together. And it's because the upper force is connecting to them. It's special work. It's not that they're doing the work, but if we do this kind of work, then we immediately feel the upper force directing us, like it's directing them.
Do you have some advice? We have a few days till Shabbat. Like a bit of advice. How can we be better prepared for this?
Do these exercises all the time. Do them. Okay? Alright, continue. There's still more to read. 7 minutes. Chapter 3, item 333. 9 respectable corrections were given to the beard. All that was covered and not revealed is high and honorable, and dikna, while the text has concealed it, as there is no text that speaks of the dikna. It is written, the eyes of the Lord, the ears of the Lord, and his cheeks are as a garden bed of perfume. But there is no mention of the dikna, since he is high and honorable. 34. The first correction of the beard, hair over hair, comes out opposite the opening of the ears, through the top of the mouth, the upper lip. Second correction, from the top of the lip to the other top of the lip. Third correction, a path under the 2 holes of the nose. It is so filled with hair that it is unseen. Fourth correction, the cheeks are covered by hair from this side and from that side. Fifth correction, in which the 2 red apples of the face seem like a rose. Sixth correction, hard, black hair is hanging on a thread down to the chazeh. Seventh correction, the lips are hair-free and are as red as a rose. 35. Eighth correction, short hair going down the throat and covering the back of the neck. Ninth correction, big and small hairs, as hard as tendons, descend equally mingling with one another, and are equal. Whoever is strong and mighty is found in these 9 corrections, meaning Zeranpin. The 9 corrections of Dikna de Zeranpin extend from the 13 corrections of Dikna de Alechanpin. 8 corrections extend from Chochma Stima, and 5 corrections from Galgalta. The ones that extend from Chochma Stima are 3 times Naranchai de Nefesh, de Ruach, and de Neshama. The difference is that 13 corrections are actual gar, but 9 corrections vak de gar. First correction, the shorish of Dikna, like the first correction of the 13 corrections of Dikna de Alechanpin. Second correction, ibur in the upper cheek, vak de nefesh. Thus, third correction, gar de nefesh. A change occurs in the fourth correction. The fourth correction of the 13 corrections of Dikna de Alechanpin is the hair of the bottom lip, vak de ruach. And the fifth correction is the path in the hair of the bottom lip, gar de ruach. However, here there is no path in the bottom lip of Zeranpin, because even the path in the upper lip does not illuminate, because it is filled with hair. Hence, they were established here in their place for vak de ruach, where the cheeks are covered in hair from this side and from that side. The fifth correction is gar de ruach, in which the 2 apples of the face seem as red as a rose, and because gar de ruach are achoraim, they are red. The sixth correction is the whole of Dikna, where the vak de ruach in the panim are drawn to their place below, in the lower cheek. Seventh correction, the lips are hair-free, and are as red as a rose. This is gar de ruach, that extend from the 2 apples below. Eighth correction, short hair coming down on the throat, extending from the 9th and 10th corrections of the 13 corrections of Dikna de Alechanpin. The 9th correction extends from the 11th correction in the 13 corrections of Dikna de Alechanpin.
שבט אחים גם ינמתו מנהי שבט אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב שבט אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב שבט אחים גם יחד
לשיעור